Now the next thing that we are, and that we are that. This is what we are. Now, we could be fooled, of course, because obviously we're not experiencing immortality or omnipresent consciousness or bliss. And this is because this consciousness, in its attempt to express itself in creation, loses that awareness once it identifies, once it gets into the physical, emotional, and mental realm. It's like the electricity which comes through the light bulb, or through the tape player, or through the vacuum cleaner, and then once it gets into the light bulb and expresses itself as light, or as music, or as cleaning power, it forgets its nature as energy and believes it is the instrument through which it is expressing itself. So it believes it's the light bulb. It believes it's the tape recorder. It believes it's the vacuum cleaner. And once it identifies with the vehicle through which it is expressing itself, then it experiences fear, because the light bulb has a certain duration, as does the tape player. Then it also evaluates itself in comparison with other light bulbs. This one has more light, and this one is green, and this one is blue. And which light bulb is better, and which light bulb is more important. And we get into this whole value judgment kind of thing. And all this is based on the fact that I forget that I am this immortal energy, this consciousness, and I believe I am the body and I am the personality. And then all of my security is based on what's happening to that body and what's happening to that personality, and my self-worth become based on this. I start comparing myself, I start fearing that I'm not worthy, I start rejecting myself, and I start fearing from my existence. So the whole goal of the spiritual process is to free ourselves from this limited identification and to experience our true nature, which is immortal, without beginning, without end, unlimited, and blissful. So this is our true nature, and this we are not experiencing this at the present moment. So basically we can say that that the spiritual process is a process of re-experiencing unity, our unity with all that exists, because the result of our identifying with the light bulb as electrical energy is the sense of feeling separate from the other light bulbs. When I really realize that I am the electrical energy, then I am the electrical energy expressing itself through all light bulbs, all tape players, all vacuum cleaners, all refrigerators, you see. There's only one electrical energy. There are many appliances or vehicles through which it's expressing itself. There is only one divine consciousness, but there are many vehicles or beings through which it is expressing itself. So at that point, once I identify with that part of myself, I naturally feel unity with other people, regardless of their traits, regardless of their religion, their political beliefs, their color, their social status, their behavior, because I am connecting with the essence which is behind this personality. And also, if we can, connecting with the essence which is behind our personality and our body. On an emotional level, the fastest way to achieve this is through love. And this is why Christ gave 3 basic commandments on this. He said, love others as you love yourself. Of course, this presupposes that we love ourselves, because if we love others the way we love ourselves, we probably won't love too many people, because most of us don't love ourselves enough. So we have to realize that the command is to love others and ourselves, because this is often forgotten. that immediately creates a sense of unity with ourselves and with others. It says, love God with all of your heart, your mind, your soul, and your strength. The second basic commandment. And the third is, love even your enemies. Love those, even those who you think anyway are trying to do you harm. Okay? So through the emotion of love, we can arrive at a state of unity, because love creates unity with all that is around us, and experience this state of bliss. Now let's examine through some models the nature of this dichotomy, of this illusion, that there is actually only one consciousness, there is actually in reality only one being, and yet there seem to be billions of beings. And how can we understand this illusion? The first example is the example of the ocean and the waves. Now you all have a paper here in which you have small images here. We have here in the upper left-hand corner, as you look at it, the ocean and the waves. Now, the ocean is obviously water. And the waves are what? Temporary formations of that water. So, the ocean itself is the divine, and the waves are temporary manifestations, formations of the divine. The wave eventually disappears and becomes one again with the ocean. So we are, if you like, this universal consciousness which manifests as the being that we are, and then this being will dissolve again into the earth. That is, this is a wave of earth, okay, that comes into being. This consciousness gathers through food, water, oxygen, materials, and creates this temporary form out of the ocean of the earth. And eventually, this temporary wave, which gets up and walks around the earth for 50, 60, 80, 100 years, gradually dissolves back again into the earth. So I am a wave, a temporary wave of this universal consciousness. The wave is simply water, as the ocean is water. So I, even though I take this temporary form, my real nature is divine. So one relationship between the individual and the universal is like the relationship between the wave and the sea. It's just that the wave is a temporary manifestation of the whole. Another way to understand that is if we have the second image here, we have a number of bottles in the sea, number of jars and bottles in the sea. Now, we imagine that these jars and bottles are open, so that there is the seawater inside and outside. Okay? So again, the seawater is Sat Chit Ananda. It's this divine essence, this divine energy, and it's inside each container and it's outside of each container. Okay? So we are, if you like, containers of divine energy, and that energy or consciousness is within us and around us. And the only thing is that temporarily there is this vehicle, which is the ego, which is separating the one from the other. So when the ego is dispersed, when the ego becomes realized, then the divine within unites with the divine without. So another way of understanding the relationship between the individual and the universal, between the individual and God, is to realize that God is an energy and essence which exists in all beings and around all beings. It creates all beings, it sustains all beings, it motivates all beings, and drives them through the evolutionary process.